We're back at Egghead and we got another 10 out of 10 chapter from Oda. I am even happier because everything I've been saying for the past month came true. Saturn is the one who infected Bonney and Ginny, and Kuma finally arrived at Egghead and attacked Saturn. There were many small interesting details in this chapter, so let's start from the beginning. Kuma from the very beginning has referred to Bonney's sapphire disease as her jewels. Gifting her a sun-shaped sapphire necklace is a very sweet moment. Without a doubt, he is the best father in all of One Piece. We're back in the present. Bonney uses her Nika attack against Saturn, but her attack does not work and she is suddenly weakened. Saturn thinks to himself that the Nika Bonney knows is different from the real one, so Bonney can only replicate the rubber power part. Saturn mentions that Bonney's fruit can transform into anything as long as the knowledge for its true shape is known, meaning if Bonney knows the true shape of Nika, she can transform into Gear 5. Saturn also revealed that he was the reason why Ginny and Bonney got sapphire scale disease. I believe the Gorosei are controlling the population by spreading incurable diseases. The first disease is amber lead syndrome, a non-contagious hereditary disease caused by the accumulation of amber lead in the victim's body after prolonged exposure to the mineral. Amber lead poisoning is unnoticeable in its early stages when in low concentration, but its effects are observable given that each infected person's descendants had noticeably shorter lifespans. The second disease is sapphire scales, a rare and fatal disease that causes sapphire-like stones to grow on the victim's skin, which can accelerate from exposure to natural light, whether sunlight or moonlight. An incurable disease also affected Roger. Maybe he caught that disease at God Valley. What is intriguing is that these diseases are associated with gems, like amber and sapphire. In Hindu mythology, each elder planet is associated with a gem. Navratan is the majestic combination of 9 auspicious gemstones. The word originated from the ancient Sanskrit language that refers to the Navagrahas, also known as the 9 celestial gods of the universe or the 9 major planets of our solar system. Blue sapphire is associated with Saturn. Some even call it the Saturn stone. I believe the Gorosei were infecting people with incurable diseases that are some kind of danger for their system and plans. They infected Roger because he was a growing problem, the future pirate king. They infected Law, one of the D-clan members. There may be other reasons as well. Saturn experimented with drugs on Ginny. The world nobles may be a literal plague on the world. Agriculture, finance, legislation, environment, scientific defense. What if these are the fields that they control by cursing people with incurable diseases? Saturn, the warrior of scientific defense, may control the weddings between celestial and non-celestial dragons to prevent them from having half-blood children. Jupiter, agriculture, may have cursed the soil and plants with amber lead so the citizens of Flevens contract an incurable disease. Isn't it intriguing how 2 Yonko have the power to create diseases? Is this the ultimate way to gain more power and control people? Kaido had Queen creating diseases and his nickname was the Plague. Blackbeard has Doc Q creating diseases with his Devil Fruit. Because these diseases are regarded as incurable, curing them will most likely be Chopper's endgame. Most Straw Hats' dreams are connected to defeating the world government. There are no incurable diseases in this world. Chopper will become the doctor who will cure anything, including these incurable diseases that are spread by the Gorosei. Also, it's ironic how Saturn keeps on referring to people as insects when he himself looks like one. Later, we witness Luffy eating food and restoring energy. No one knew where that food came from. Saturn looked scared and gave a command to put Luffy in sea stone cuffs immediately. He knows how strong Nika actually is. Who gave Luffy that food? The only correct answer for that question is Kizaru. Why Kizaru? There are 3 hints. Kizaru was shown 2 times in this chapter. He was disturbed and looked sad because of Sentomaru and Bonney. They are his friends after all. Is it not also surprising that no one has noticed how someone brought food to Luffy and disappeared? Also, it's not just a bread or an apple. There is a lot, and the only character who could gather food and deliver it unnoticeably is Kizaru. We can even see Kizaru's favorite food, Ichiriku ramen, in the corner. I am sure that later Luffy will reveal that Kizaru helped him to regain his strength. It'll be amazing, but I still want to see more from Kizaru. For example, him attacking Saturn or helping the Straw Hats more openly. At the end of this chapter, we saw Kuma arriving at Egghead, saving Bonney from Saturn and attacking him. Witnessing Saturn's shocked face was very pleasant as well. Yes, the final punch scene hits hard, but Kuma, who did not stop his run despite being shot repeatedly, hits even harder. The remnant of will that he has left could only lead him to his daughter, and he could not stop before before saving her. His whole life is for her. Also, Kuma straight up defeated the Otter Vice Admiral and Vice Admiral Bluegrass while he was just running. The same two Vice Admirals that attacked Bonney before. He took revenge against them as well. Kuma protecting Bonney from Saturn looked very similar to Ace sacrificing himself for Luffy against Akainu. Another parallel could be coming in the next chapter. In the previous chapter, we saw Kuma witnessing Luffy punching a celestial dragon. It seems the same will happen and Kuma will punch one of the Gorosei. Has anyone ever punched Saturn in the last 800 years? Also, if it's going to be animated like Luffy's punch, then it will be one of the most memorable moments in the whole of One Piece. The chapter ends, and there are two main questions. Is Kuma conscious? Because we even saw emotions on his face. He does not seem programmed to save Bonney. He looked very angry at the end of this chapter. There are a lot of theories about Kuma and how he operates. Most of them are about the giant robot at Egghead. One of the newest and most logical ones came from chapter 1102. In the previous chapter, it was revealed that Vegapunk discovered a way to keep Kuma with two consciences, which can be switched. Of course, when Vegapunk offered it to Saturn, he declined. But what if Vegapunk could not kill his friend and chose his own way without telling the world government? What if the self-destruction switch was swapped with the personality switch? Maybe when Saturn pressed the button, the personality switch between the ancient robot and Kuma occurred. It would explain a lot of things. Another question is, how strong is Saturn? At first he seemed undefeatable, even his arrival was frightening. He emerged from a magic circle on the ground as if through a portal. As Saturn appeared, the circle emitted black, hockey-esque lightning while having fiery energy erupt from it, and several powerful fighters on Egghead took notice of the strange presence that had arrived. In both his human and spider-like forms, Saturn can project some kind of invisible aura-like force resembling telekinesis. Even Sanji can't move because of this force. When invoking this power, visibly indicated by his eyes glowing, Saturn can injure people with a mere look, knock them back with an unseen blow, and physically force them to the ground to keep them immobile. In his Zoan form, Saturn can heal from injuries. When he was pierced by a sword, the wound healed within seconds of the blade's removal. Logically, because of these feats, he must be at least Admiral or Yonko level. No Yonko could stop Sanji so easily, but in this chapter, everything was otherwise. Yes, Luffy is very strong in his Nika form, but Saturn still seemed pretty scared compared to Kaido, for example, and also was very scared of Kuma's punch. Yes, this was Kuma's chapter, and every such detail made him more badass, but still, Saturn is one of the Gorosei. I hope Kuma's punch went through, because we will have a similar scene to Jinbei punching Big Mom, but if Saturn takes any serious damage from it, then it will be really weird. Kuma is still in danger, and Luffy or even Kizaru have to do something against one of the Gorosei, and I believe it's even better if Kuma did not defeat him so easily, because now we will witness Luffy versus Saturn, probably one of the most anticipated fights in One Piece. The Gorosei are very strong and each one of them has a unique ability, so if you want to see more about their powers you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching.